And I think the manufacturers and the community and the dealers need to come together and figure out, how do we make that possible? How do we make people feel good about their purchase? How do we make it to where somebody comes into a Harley Davidson dealership, the dealership wins, the customer wins, and the customer doesn't feel guilty the first time the payment comes around? Hey guys, welcome back to another video. It is middle of the week, and as you guys are watching this, I'm actually somewhere in Ohio at the moment. So the other day, I knew I was going to be gone for a few days. I thought, you know what, I need to get another video out, and I wanted to get out and film on the street glide. So much has been happening on my channel over the last 2 or 3 weeks in discussion about Harley Davidson. So oddly enough, we're going to run meet as Josh sees it for some coffee. And yeah, a lot of what we do revolves around coffee. I don't know, I'm just an addict, I guess, if you will. But yeah, we're going to run meet have some coffee meet up, and then we are actually going to head over to Orange County Harley Davidson, where they have a couple of the new models in stock. And I think Josh said he looked on their site, and they actually have the new gold color of the 120th anniversary. So we're gonna run check that out. Because to be honest with you, I've been thinking a lot about my street glide. A lot of the things that have been said in the comment section over the last couple of videos, you know, have really had me questioning, you know, how I feel about Harley Davidson moving forward. I love my street glide, to be honest with you. When I realized that I was going to go back to a bagger a couple of years ago, and I had my couple of Ducatis. I had the Multistrada, and then I also had the Monster 12, whatever it was, 1260S, 1250S. And I'm like, you know what? I really miss having a bagger. And in my world, in full transparency, when I think of a bagger, when I think of a cruising motorcycle, I automatically think of Harley Davidson. It's just, you know, I'm 50 years old, and that has just been ingrained, like so many of you guys have. And I think that's why so many people are reacting the way that they are to what's going on with Harley Davidson corporate, the Moto Co, and, you know, the markups that the dealers are putting on, the different kind of philosophies that the new CEO of Harley Davidson is coming out and saying, you know, the future of Harley Davidson is electric, and, you know, he kind of favors the Porsche retail model, where they exist for high-end luxury customers, and if you can't afford one, then the secondary market and used market is for you until you can. I hear that kind of stuff, and it's just disheartening. It's not at all what I thought Harley Davidson has stood for all these years. So, in all honesty, it has made me, you know, think about, there are a lot of other manufacturers. I am going to go take a look at the new Indian Pursuit Dark Horse Premium. That could be a replacement for this bike if I want to get rid of the bike. And then I start to think, and I'm anxious to hear and interested to hear and see what you guys think about this. Does any of that really matter? If you're talking about your experience riding motorcycles, does it really matter does it matter what Harley Davidson corporate is doing? You know, if I enjoy and love riding my street glide, you know, should I even care about what's going on? And based on the comment section of what a lot of you guys have said in the last few videos, I think there's a contention of you guys that would say, yes, it absolutely does matter. And I think there's a large majority of people also that would say, no, it really doesn't matter. It's all about, are you riding the bike that you like? You know, did you buy the bike that you want? Did you get, you know, a decently good deal? And look, there's been some people making comments in the comment section that, like, look, does the deal matter if the person who bought the bike is happy with the deal they got in the bike they bought? And look, that is a valid point. At the end of the day, if you're happy about the choice and the decision that you made, does it really matter what anybody else has to say? Does it matter the dealerships are marking up the bikes? And look, some people have made look, dealers got to make a living. I'm not against the free market. I'm not against anybody getting a good deal. I'm not against anybody trying to make a living. I just think at some point it's a little bit excessive. So getting out on the Street Glide today, I love riding this motorcycle. I love, this is a 2021 Street Glide special. I love the longer extended bags. On this bike, it allows me to, if I want to go out, and my wife and I ride this bike all the time together, but if we're out and we go shopping, we can, store stuff, we can take stuff with us. It's comfortable to ride long distances, and I've just got the stock seat on this bike, and there are other seats out there that are even more comfortable than this. So, I've thought about getting a tour pack and putting a tour pack on here where I can carry some of my high-end cinema cameras with me, doing some things like that. So I don't know, I just kind of wanted to get out and ride today. We are going to go over to the Harley Davidson dealership and take a look. Where I think all of this is coming down and possibly affecting me is that I like the bikes that I have. I like the Pan America. I love and like my Street Glide. So I think if anything for me, what's going on with the brand Harley Davidson, corporate, and at this individual dealership level, I think it's going to affect my future purchases. It doesn't make me love my bike any less. It doesn't make me regret the purchases that I've made buying the Pan America or buying the Street Glide. Now, with the Pan America, I will say, I have a first generation, and there's been some issues. There's been some problems. But I guess I don't regret buying the motorcycle. To be honest with you, every time I get on it and ride it, I fall a little bit more in love with it. The other day, if you checked out the last video, Josh and I were supposed to go down to North County Indian to check out the Indian lineup, and we didn't make it down there because traffic was it was going to take us forever to get down there, and we really weren't kind of down for that. So we ended up finding this top secret location off-road, and when you're on an adventure bike, you have that ability, right? So most of that Saturday, that whole ride was going to be freeway, but we were on our adventure bikes. Then the whole thing took an unexpected turn, and we got to go off-roading. And on the Pan America, easy transition. Didn't have anything to worry about whatsoever. Couldn't do that on the Street Glide. But look, a lot of people, Josh's GS. I said it in that video. Do I think that the GS is a better adventure bike than my Pan America? Yes, I think it's better than my Pan America. I think Harley Davidson is making a real effort to make the Pan America a contender. And I've been told, I don't know this for a fact, but I have been told that the 2023 model of the Pan America, they have solved a lot of the bugs and a lot of the issues that they had with the first generation, which is mine, and then also last year's, the 2022 model. So, we'll see. As more and more people start to get out on the road and put the 2023 models through its paces and see if those problems still exist or if they don't, we'll see. But I think that's kind of where I'm falling. And I've got another video coming up where I want to wrap up the whole conversation about the dealer markup, the good dealers, the bad dealers. And that video is going to be coming out probably next week. I'm going to be using a lot of your guys' comments as reference. So if you'd like to have your voice heard in that conversation, make sure you go back to that video and comment on it. Because I really am interested to hear what you guys think and what you guys have to say about what's going on with the Harley Davidson brand. But like I said, I think where I'm starting to fall on this whole situation is it's going to affect my purchasing decisions down the road. I don't know that I will buy another Harley Davidson until all of this is corrected. Because Lord knows, I buy cars and motorcycles like they're candy, and it's a problem. It's an addiction, and many of you out there know exactly what that addiction is like. So I am currently in the market for another motorcycle right now, something else to add to the channel. And right now, the 2023 Indian Pursuit Dark Horse Premium is in the running. At one point I thought, maybe I'd replace the Street Glide with that bike. And then I don't know. I don't have anything against this motorcycle, and I love riding it. I love riding, longer distance trips. Even though the Pan America will go as far and as long as you want it to go, it's still not as comfortable as this motorcycle. There's just no way in the world. But, we'll see. I do love this motorcycle, and nothing that I have talked about in previous videos makes me like or love my motorcycles any different. So I would like to see some changes made, though. I'd like to see a little bit more transparency when it comes to pricing. What negative comments we did get on that particular video is, I guess, for whatever reason, everybody, over almost 2,000 people have commented, and I think 1,995 of them were positive and agreed with me. So from the 5 people out there that, and I'm pretty sure, there's just people that want to start up shit no matter where, so that they're just geared towards negativity first. And so I think that's where those 5 people came from. And that's totally fine. But for whatever reason, they, I guess, thought that I was completely 100% against the free market, and how dare I, try to dictate what the dealers can and can't charge. And look, I'll address that. You're 100% right. I have absolutely, they owe me nothing. I'm just the little old customer that's going to decide whether or not I want to spend my money at a particular place based on the transparency of their sales and their customer service experience. And all I'm saying is that recently, I have not found those to be very good at most Harley Davidson dealerships that I've been in. And look, to other manufacturers, a lot of you made really good points in the comments. And look, it's not just Harley Davidson doing this, and it's not. Car manufacturers. I just bought a Toyota 2023 Toyota Tacoma TRD off-road, and I got to the dealership to buy it. They had $5,000, or actually a little over $5,000 in dealer markup. And I said, look, guys, I will buy this truck today, but I will not pay the markup. And they said, well, they tried to give me a little bit of a hard time. I said, no, that's as simple as it is. And then I went one step further. I backed out of the deal completely. And they're like, look, what can we do? This is the way they do. And it's a game, and I hate the game. I don't know why we can't just be upfront and honest with each other instead of trying to pull one over on everybody. But I literally, he said, what can we do to get you to buy the truck? And I said, I really like the TRD Pro all black wheels. So they threw in the wheels as well. So I didn't pay the markup, and I got something additionally that I really wanted on the car. But look, like I said, it's not all Harley Davidson. It is a lot of different car manufacturers, motorcycle manufacturers that are marking up their stuff. And look, I'm all for everybody making as much money as they possibly can. But I think there is a level of fairness to it, and a level to where everybody can win on a deal. The dealership can make money. The customer can get a good deal and not be buried in a bike, especially if they're not financing 30% negative equity. I think there is a win-win situation out there for everybody in every situation, for everybody that wants to ride a bike, buy a bike, and become a member of this community and live this lifestyle. That's what I really want to get out there, and what I really want to say is I think that's possible. And I think the manufacturers and the community and the dealers need to come together and figure out, how do we make that possible? How do we make people feel good about their purchase? How do we make it to where somebody comes into a Harley Davidson dealership, the dealership wins, the customer wins, and the customer doesn't feel guilty the first time the payment comes around? That's what I guess I'm trying to say. So anyway, long-winded video. Sorry, guys. I'll shut up and just drive a little bit and let you guys see some scenery. I mean, the traffic today here in Orange County is a little bit ridiculous. But we're going to go meet Josh. We're going to grab some coffee, and then we'll run up to OC Harley Davidson, which is where I bought this 2021 Street Glide Special, and see what we can see. This is the El Toro exit off of I-5 north and south. I think I would put it up there as the most deadly off-ramp or exit in the United States. This thing, it backs up. They've been doing construction on this for 3 years. It's like it's never going to end, and it backs up for miles down the freeway.
A few moments later.
All right, guys, so we're back on the bike. Heading back home. They did have one of the 120th anniversary road glides in stock. Pretty cool looking bike. I had every intention of filming. But quite honestly, there was kind of a lot going on in the dealership, you know, salespeople and things like that, and I didn't want to film. It kind of wasn't that, I don't know, I just didn't feel comfortable filming. So we were told by one of the sales guys that, matter of fact, the bike that we were looking at, the 120th anniversary road glide, that there was a sold sticker on it, sold tag on it. And he told us that they sold that bike at MSRP and that they were not marking the bikes up. I don't know if that is, I mean, I hate to say you don't want to take somebody at their word, but Josh is looking at picking up a road glide. And, I mean, he said he would, you know, sell it to him for MSRP. So, I mean, there's no reason for me to doubt what the guy was saying. On some of the other bikes, on the hang tags, I did notice there was a couple different classifications of, you know, what we would consider to be markup. One of the things on the tag even said, you know, it had something to do with, you know, low inventory markup, or, you know, something like that. So I don't know if, you know, I know that this dealership has recently been purchased, and one of the other salespeople that was talking to us, he said they own 7 dealerships, so they are a part of a bigger network. But look, if they are saying that they are willing to sell the bikes at MSRP, then, you know, take them at their word. If Josh decides to buy a bike and goes over there to do so, we'll know. We'll find that out, you know, for sure. I did want to do some filming inside. We, in the past, have had some relationships with different salespeople and people in the service department at that dealership. Again, that's where I bought this Street Glide. But I didn't recognize a single person when I went in there, and I didn't want to get into, you know, what we were filming for, or why, or anything like that. I didn't want to make them uncomfortable. So we chose not to film in the dealership, but I'll pop up a picture of the bike that we did take a look at. So, and I'll tell you this, they didn't seem to be short on inventory, and there was somebody in there trying to buy a bike while we were there. So, you know, who knows what all this is going to shape up to be with what's going on with the different Harley Davidson dealerships. I would never pay over MSRP for a bike unless it was a bike I was buying and then I was, you know, doing some upgrades or add-ons or something like that. But, you know, that's just me. A lot of other people out there are willing to do whatever they got to do to get the bike they want. And kudos to you. More power to you. I'm not saying anything bad about you or to you. It's just not a decision that I would choose to make. And going back to what I said earlier, you know, none of what they're doing affects the enjoyment of what I get of riding my bikes, Harley Davidson or Ducati or any other brand. It might, however, you know, dealership specific especially, will definitely dictate whether or not and where I buy a Harley Davidson. If I buy another Harley, it certainly won't be from a dealer that's charging any markup. But we'll see. For right now, I'm really happy with the Street Glide. It's a brand new bike. We've got 4,000 miles on it. I've had it since it was brand new. So you know, for right now, I'm really satisfied and really happy with what we've got going on. All right, guys, that's going to about do it for this video. Again, sorry that I didn't bring you any footage from inside the dealership, but look, I also want to be very respectful. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm not trying to, you know, specifically talk bad about any dealerships. The whole thing of this whole idea behind this was not to showcase in a negative light any dealership whatsoever. But I also don't think that telling the truth and being transparent about what's going on is being negative or intentionally, you know, being negative towards a dealership. But I also, like I said, I want to be respectful, and so I didn't feel like it would be right to film in there at the time without giving them any notice or anything like that. So, but anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget, subscribe to the channel, like this video. It goes a long way with the YouTube algorithm. Click the bell, make sure you're notified so that when I do upload a new video, you get notified that, hey, there's a new video and you might want to check it out. So anyway, guys, I appreciate it. Going to be out of town for a few days. Might shoot a couple shorts or whatever, but main content on the channel will be coming back next week. Anyway, guys, be safe out there. Ride safe. See you in the next video.